Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya 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 Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya So we are continuing with Sri Caitanya Caritamrta Adi Lila, chapter 4, text number 101, 101. We finished 100 last time. So 101 today. Shashta shlokera artha karite prakasha prathame kahiye se shlokera abhasa. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. To explain the sixth verse, I shall first give a hint of its meaning. Text 102. Avatari Prabhu Pracharila Sankirtana Ehobaya Hetu Purve Kariyachi Suchana. Translation by Prabhupada. The Lord came to propagate Sankirtana. That is an external purpose, as I have already indicated. Text 103. Did you find it? Did you find it? Chapter 4? Okay. Avatarira ara eka ache mukhya bija rasika shekhara krishnera sei karya nija. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. There is a principal cause for Lord Krishna's appearance. It grows from his own engagements as the foremost enjoyer of loving exchanges. Text 104. Ati gudha hetu se trividha prakara damodara swarupa haite yahara prachara. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. That most confidential cause is threefold. Swarup Damodar has revealed it. Text 105. Swarupa Goshani Prabhura Ati Antaranga Tahate Janena Prabhura E Saba Prasanga. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Swarup Goshani is the most intimate associate of the Lord. He therefore knows all these topics as well. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prior to the Lord's acceptance of the renounced order, Purushottama Bhattacharya, a resident of Navadvip, desired to enter the renounced order of life. Therefore, he left home and went to Banaras, where he accepted the position of brahmacharya from a Mayavadi sannyasi. When he became a brahmachari, he was given the name Sri Damodar Swarup. He left Banaras shortly thereafter without taking sannyas, and he came to Nilachal, Jagannath Puri, where Lord Caitanya was staying. He met Caitanya Mahāprabhu there and dedicated his life for the service of the Lord. He became Lord Caitanya's secretary and constant companion. He used to enhance the pleasure potency of the Lord by singing appropriate songs, which were very much appreciated. Swarup Damodar could understand the secret mission of Lord Caitanya, and it was by his grace only that all the devotees of Lord Caitanya could know the real purpose of the Lord. Swarup Damodar has been identified as Lalita Devi, the second expansion of Radharani. However, text 160 of Kavi Karnapur's authoritative Gaur Ganodesha Deepika describes Swarup Damodar as the same Vishakha Devi who serves the Lord in Goloka Vrindavana. Therefore, it is to be understood that Sri Swarup Damodar is a direct expansion of Radharani who helps the Lord experience the attitude of Radharani. Last verse of today, 106. Radhikara Bhavamurti Prabhura Antara Sei Bhave Sukha Dukha Uthe Nirantara. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The heart of Lord Chaitanya is the image of Sri Radhika's emotions. Thus, feelings of pleasure and pain arise constantly therein. Purport. Lord Chaitanya's heart was full of the feelings of Srimati Radharani, and his appearance resembled hers. Swarup Damodar has explained his attitude as Radha Bhava Murti, the attitude of Radharani. One who engages in sense gratification on the material platform can hardly understand Radha Bhav, but one who is freed from the demands of sense gratification can understand it. Radha Bhav must be understood from the Goswamis, those who are actually controllers of the senses. From such authorized sources, it is to be known that the attitude of Srimati Radharani is the highest perfection of conjugal love, which is the highest of the 5 transcendental mellows, and it is a complete perfection of love of Krishna. These transcendental affairs can be understood on 2 platforms. One is called elevated, and the other is called super elevated. The loving affairs exhibited in Dwarka are the elevated form. The super elevated position is reached in the manifestations of the pastimes of Vrindavan. The attitude of Lord Chaitanya is certainly super elevated. From the life of Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu, an intelligent person engaged in pure devotional service can understand that he always felt separation from Krishna within himself. In that separation, he sometimes felt that he had found Krishna and was enjoying the meeting. The significance of this separation and meeting is very specific. If someone tries to understand the exalted position of Lord Chaitanya without knowing this, he is sure to misunderstand it. One must first become fully self-realized. Otherwise, one may misidentify the Lord as Nagar or the enjoyer of the damsels of Raja, thus committing the mistake of rasabhas or overlapping understanding. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmaitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So once again, very high level knowledge. And we can, from the beginning of verse 101 till 106, we can see the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining the external reason for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming down here on this earthly planet more than 500 years ago. And the external reason he states is Sankirtana. Sankirtana means chanting of the holy names of the Lord. That was one of the reasons he came, because in Kali Yuga, Krishna saw that we are destitute. We know all the good qualities we have, like laziness and unfortunate and whatever, So out of his compassion, he decided to come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread this mission of Sankirtana, where chanting of the holy names of the Lord is very prominent. Because in Kali Yuga, the only process for self-realization is chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And thanks to Srila Prabhupada, he explained it to us in such a simple way so that we can put it into practice. And so the external reason was Sankirtana, and Prabhupada mentions that principal cause was to relish loving exchanges with Radharani. So we've heard so many times that Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Radharani, because he wanted to relish whatever Radharani was relishing in love for Krishna. So in these few verses, we were first introduced to Swarup Damodar, right? We have heard who is Swarup Damodar, but here in these few verses, especially one verse, Srila Prabhupada explains nicely who is Swarup Damodar. He says he's the most intimate associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a personal secretary. So when you are the secretary, then you get to see the different pastimes, right? Because you are there and you are witnessing whatever is happening. For instance, when I was secretary to Guru Maharaj, I could witness, I could see, because there I was sitting to just to take notes, but then the eyes and ears were open. You could see how he related to different disciples. It wasn't the same instruction to each and every one of them. It was totally different. How he dealt with one disciple, how he dealt with another one. So here we can see Swarup Damodar was secretary to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and constant companion. It's not that Saturday, Sunday off, like I'll work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And then Saturday, Sunday, I need time off because I need to rest. I need to sleep more. I need to, sleep 10, 12 hours. No, he was constant companion. All the time that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was awake, he was there serving him. So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Swarup Damodar is Lalita Sakhi, who is the second expansion of Radharani. But then in the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika, it said that Swarup Damodar is Vishakha Sakhi from Goloka Vrindavan. Now, is there a contradiction? No, Prabhupada says in spiritual knowledge, there's no contradiction. They are all expansions of Radharani. And Vishakha, she is a direct expansion of Radharani. The purpose is they want to give pleasure to Krishna. They are helping Srimati Radharani give pleasure to Krishna to serve. So the purpose is just to help, so that here Swarup Damodar is helping so that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can experience the mood of Srimati Radharani. Then Srila Prabhupada gives a history of Swarup Damodar, that his name was Purushottam Bhattacharya. He went to Banaras. Yes, he went to Banaras, and there he became a brahmachari, and he accepted from a Mayavadi sannyasi, and that sannyasi gave him the name Swarup Damodar. And after that, he went to Jagannath Puri. There he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he dedicated his life to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is the purpose of initiation? Just to get a nice fancy name? Oh, you are Gita Devi Dasi. Whoa, I've got a new name, spiritual name. What is the purpose of initiation? To dedicate our lives to Guru and Krishna. That is the purpose. Until and unless we dedicate our lives, we will not be able to make any progress. Why? Because it is Krishna who gave us the spiritual master, and it is a spiritual master that will give us Krishna. There is no way out. There is no shortcut. There is no side turns or no, nothing at all. It is directly from Guru to Krishna. That is why it is said, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyava Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Only in the whole Brahmand, so many living entities are moving, going up, down in different species and even in human life. But only there is those fortunate, Bhagyavan, fortunate, those who get the seed of devotion from a bona fide spiritual master. So we are very, very, very fortunate that we are in the strict disciplic succession. So we should take full advantage of this opportunity, sincerely follow instructions of Guru and Krishna, and only then Prabhupada says we will become self-realized. If you remember in one of the purports we read, Prabhupada said, we cannot understand these pastimes until we become self-realized. So right now for us is theory. We are hearing, oh, there was someone called Swarup Damodar. That is probably Lalita Devi or Vishakha Devi, expansion of Radha. That's all theory. We are hearing knowledge. But Prabhupada says only when we become self-realized that we will really realize these pastimes. So we see that Swarup Damodar became the secretary, and then he kept a diary of all the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the places he went to, you know, whom all the devotees he met, and also his, whenever he showed his, form to his very intimate associates, all that was recorded by Swarup Damodar. And Srila Prabhupada says that Swarup Damodar would sing particular songs for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which gave a lot of pleasure to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Swarup Damodar knew what is the secret mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why has he come? He has not come here to just chant and dance. He has not just come here to eat prasadam. He has come to spread Krishna consciousness in every town and village. And that is what Srila Prabhupada continued the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is what Guru Maharaj is doing. He is continuing the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So what do? We continue Guru Maharaj's mission. What does he want? Yes, to preach, exactly, to spread this knowledge, to give this knowledge to as many as we can. Now, Vyasa Puja is coming. You all know 10th June is the last date to upload the Vyasa Puja offering. A time for us to express our deepest gratitude for accepting us as his disciples. What would we be doing if he did not accept us? Maybe loitering here or there. Today is Saturday, 9:17, probably sleeping, right? If there was no CC class, they will probably be sleeping, because it's weekend. We work so hard Monday through Friday. So let's take some rest on weekend. Yeah, outside the bedroom door, do not disturb, right? When I'm ready, I'll be out. That's when you talk to me. Don't knock on the door. So we can see how Srila Prabhupada has struggled so much just to give us Krishna consciousness. And whatever was Srila Prabhupada's mission was exactly the same as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. And that's exactly what is Guru Maharaj's mission also. And that is what should be our mission as well. So Srila Prabhupada says that the pure devotees can understand these pastimes, and they are able to do that because they're completely surrendered. Can we surrender to Guru and Krishna completely? No, there's a little hesitation. Why? Because we don't want to lose control. Like we feel that if we surrender completely, then, oh, that means then I cannot make any decisions. I cannot decide whether I should eat aloo gobi or bhindi aloo. No. Surrendering means just following the instructions of the spiritual master, because the only desire should be to please Guru and Krishna. The last verse that we read, 106, it's a very beautiful verse. And it is also difficult to imagine that one particular sentence. Let's read it again. Heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is image of Radharani's emotions. Anyone understood? I had to read so many times to understand what is this. Heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is image of Radharani's emotions. That was the whole purpose of Krishna coming down as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so that he could relish what Radharani is relishing, to be in that mood. And that is why he even took the golden color of Radharani, golden complexion, the mood of Radharani. Imagine Krishna relishing himself, right? Krishna relishing himself, because that is what Radharani does. She relishes the love of Krishna. So Krishna wanted to relish the same. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart is full of Radharani's feelings and emotions. Whatever she is feeling for Krishna. Does that make sense? Theoretically, right? Realization will come by the mercy of Krishna. So we see that the mood was of Radharani's and he wanted to experience that. And Swarup Damodar explains that this attitude is called Radha Bhav. Right? Bhav means that emotion, that feeling. And this is Radha Bhav, which means the attitude of Radha Rani. And that was one of the purposes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance in this Kali Yuga on this earthly planet. And Srila Prabhupada is saying, it is not possible to understand all that we heard today. It is not, unless one is free of all material desires. Even a teeny weeny material desire means no self-realization. Teeny weeny. What do you think can be that teeny weeny material desire? Oh, we have so many, but teeny weeny. Like what? Did you say eating pizza? No. No, I thought Bhakti said eating.
Sand in the desert. Small.
But that teeny weeny material desire, small material desire, what could it be? Little tiny material desire. That is not a material desire. Huh? It could be anything. There are so many desires, we can't even figure out which one to talk about. So many of them. It'll take us a long time to even filter out and say, which is the best one I can say now, so I don't feel embarrassed, It has to be something that, there's so many. And Prabhupada says, even a little, an iota of material desire means no more going back to Godhead and no self-realization. So then it behooves us to work on our desires. First of all, recognize them. What are the material desires that I have? Write down in the diary. We might need a thick journal, too, because it'll fill out very quickly. And when we sit down to write, we will realize, oh, I didn't know I had these desires. Otherwise, subconsciously, it's there. And we are not working on it because it's there. We are not focusing on it, right? But when we focus and write down, then we say, oh, I better hide this journal somewhere and no one sees it, all my material desires. But that is the first step, to recognize them. Only then we can figure out, okay, these are the material desires I don't need. They are an obstacle on my spiritual path, and I'm not really going to be satisfied. I've tried it, I haven't been satisfied. So let me strike it out of my notes, that, okay, I don't want this. That way we can reduce our material desires and then come to a place where there are no more material desires. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, only when one is free from material desires, only then one can understand all these verses that we read today, even the ones before. And I'm sure the ones that are going to come next time also. So to reach that stage of self-realization, there has to be zero material desires, like the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. You heard about, right? We heard about 6 Goswamis. I was wanting to read some pastime of these 6 Goswamis, and I came across a transcription of a lecture where it said that one time Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami were in Kamyavan. Anyone been to Kamyavan? A beautiful place. Yes, it's a beautiful place. So in Vrindavan. So they were in Kamyavan and they were engaged in Hari Katha. They were just talking about Krishna over and over and over. And time was passing by. They were neither hungry nor sleepy, nor tired nor thirsty, nothing at all. They went on and on with the Hari Katha. How long can we sit for Hari Katha? Okay, time up, right? 30 minutes more than enough. Now finish. We can't, because the mind is so restless. Even the body, especially in old age, it's hard to even sit in one position. There you change. See, you can't even sit straight. Change has to be there because the body is material. But they were just sitting, self-realized souls, pure devotees. They went on with the Hari Katha. Then Srimati Radharani noticed that they haven't eaten for such a long time. So she came with some ingredients and gave, to Rupa Goswami and said, okay, here are some ingredients. Why don't you make some kheer and eat? He said, oh, thank you. Of course, he didn't say thank you. He just took it and okay, but continued with Hari Katha. Continued Hari Katha, going on and on and on. Then Radharani said, oh, he doesn't even want to give up Hari Katha to make kheer. If someone gave us what we say, oh, let's go, come on, let's make some kheer, put some nuts and all and relish it. No. She herself lit the fire. In olden days, you blow and that have that, chula, it's called a chula, where you put the wood pieces and she did all that. And she put the pot, and she put milk and rice and sugar, and she herself made the kheer, and then she gave it to Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami also, oh, thank you, whatever, and he offered it to his spiritual master, who is Sanatan Goswami. That's what I mean. He considered, because you have those Shiksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus and all, so the specification was not there, but said he offered to his spiritual master, Sanatan Goswami. And then Sanatan Goswami tasted, the prasadam. Immediately he was in ecstasy. Rupa Goswami ate, he was in ecstasy. They had tears coming down. It was Radharani's prasad. Radharani herself brought the ingredients and cooked herself and gave it. Imagine. And they were eating and crying. They were eating and crying, and this went on. And then Sanatan Goswami asked Rupa Goswami, who gave this? So Rupa Goswami explained, oh, she was a very beautiful, very, very beautiful young girl. This is how she looked like, and this is how she talked. Immediately, Sanatan Goswami was sad. Why do you think he was sad? He got Radharani's prasad. Exactly, he was sad. How did we take seva, service from Radharani? We should be serving her, not that she serves us. See the mood. So what do we learn from this? That we should wait for Radharani to come and give us kheer? So many lessons we learn. First of all, keep preaching Hari Katha, keep distributing this knowledge. And second thing we learn is, don't take service from others. Don't take service from devotees. Serve them instead. So beautiful. When I read this, I was like, oh, this is what is called pure devotional service. And this is what we learn from the 6 Goswamis. From them, we learn Radharani's love for Krishna is the highest. No one above that. Her love is the highest, and that is the Madhurya Ras. And Srila Prabhupada says that this Madhurya Ras is the highest of all the rasas. That is loving relationship with Krishna. So we have seen that, since past few weeks, we have been reading all these verses from Caitanya, Caritamrta, Adi Lila, many, many verses. We are, hearing all this from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, but they are all very high level. But we can see that Srila Prabhupada's purports are helping us. They are guiding us to understand each and every verse very clearly. At least theoretically, we are trying to understand. And realization, of course, will come by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So, in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada is talking about Madhurya Ras, which are experienced in 2 different forms. One is elevated and one is super elevated. And he mentions that in Dwarka, it is elevated, but Vrindavan, super elevated. And then he also mentions that Caitanya Mahaprabhu's attitude obviously is super elevated, because it's the mood of Radha Rani. So just as Radha Rani is feeling separation from Krishna every moment, similarly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also feeling that separation. Why? Because he was in the mood of Radha Rani. Just like we've heard in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, how Srimati Radharani is running around looking for Krishna, asking the bumblebee, asking the trees, asking the flowers, right? She is in separation in that mood. So same thing is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is in that same mood of separation from himself, from Krishna, because he's in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So Srila Prabhupada says that those who are engaged in pure devotional service can understand all this. But he says those who are trying to be Krishna conscious, who are trying to progress in Krishna consciousness, cannot understand until and unless they come to the level of pure devotional service. Only then they will be able to understand. And Prabhupada has given us a process, a simple process by which we can come to that stage of pure devotional service. So now it is our choice. What do we choose? If we want to become self-realized and pure, then what time frame do we have in our mind? Is it this life? Is it next life? Is it after 10 lifetimes? We choose. And based on our choice, then we make a plan. Does that make sense? We make a plan. Okay, I want, like Prabhupada says, let this life be your last business, finish your business and go back to Godhead. So if that is the case, then we need to make a plan. And Srila Prabhupada has given us the whole process. All we have to do is just follow it. And if we are not able to come to the level of self-realization, then Prabhupada says, one will misunderstand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his mood. Just like we see so many who hear the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, like rasa dance and all, but they don't understand it really. They misunderstand it. Why? Because they are not on the level of self-realization. And he says, Prabhupada says that if one is not self-realized, then one will consider Krishna to be an ordinary person enjoying with the gopis. Right? Sometimes we see people say, oh, if Krishna can dance with so many, we can also dance with so many. There's nothing wrong. Then my question is, if Lord Shiva can drink poison, why can't you drink poison? If you want to really follow, then, right? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We cannot imitate. So Prabhupada is saying that it is very important that we become very serious in Krishna consciousness. That's why he said even Srimad Bhagavatam we should hear step by step, right from first canto, then go to 10th canto, when we will actually theoretically be able to understand the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And of course, as Prahlad Maharaj says, Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing is the first step. That's all we are doing every Saturday. We are hearing. The reason we are hearing is so that a desire develops that we can do chanting, Kirtanam. And when we do hearing and chanting, then automatically there'll be remembrance of Krishna, which is Smaranam. And we are fortunate that we are in ISKCON. We have Krishna consciousness. We have a bona fide spiritual master in the Parampara. So let's take it very seriously and make plan to progress. It's like daily meditation. Okay, every day I think about it and I write down, what is it that I did better spiritually yesterday? And what is it I can do better today? That is how we'll make progress. That's what children do in school, right? They do their homework, they do their projects, whatever it is, and then they study, and then they see what else can I do better so that I can get better grades. Is that right? Or no? That's what we do. So we do the same for spiritual life also. How can I progress? And the best way is to please the spiritual master. And to please the spiritual master, we need to follow his instructions very carefully. And one of his instructions is, do you remember from last time Guru Maharaj was on Zoom. Was it last Saturday or last Saturday, right? Yes, last Saturday. He gave one instruction. Does anyone remember? Huh? Yeah, but yes. No, there was one instruction to do. Keep a record. How many of you have started keeping a record?
I didn't get that. Yeah, record of like your progress, spiritual progress.
No, a record of how many rounds you're chanting and how many hours you're reading. Yes, we need to keep a record. So we have to be very alert. Whenever he gives an instruction, go home and write it down. And if you can't write it down, then put it on Word document and then fill it every day. Okay, today I chanted 16 rounds and I read a chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because when he comes, we have to show that report. And it'll be hard to remember, oh, 1 week ago, what did I do? Do we remember what we did on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, today, Saturday? Right? So keep a report. And he also said, then show it to me. See, he said, show it to me because he knows we are lazy people. You know, we say, oh, he said, fine, okay. Yahan se suna, yahan se nikal diya, ho gaya, you know.
I think Prabhu has one, you have one grid that you shared in the Sunday class. Then maybe we can all use this.
Yeah, 4-1-1 rule. There is a,
Okay.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
is that I'm trying to remember. Yeah. So you have to set a goal for entire year.
For the whole year. Okay.
You want to finish Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, whatever it is. Then split that into every month.
Okay.
Break that into 1 month.
Okay.
And then break it into the 4 weeks.
Okay.
So it's a 4-1-1. So you have that entire year of goal, but you are splitting every week.
Every week.
So every week, what is your target? Now you can break down to that every week to every day.
Every
also.
day, yes.
So there is a graph. I have the graph. So you can fill out,
yes.
and then you are monitoring yourself because you already committed. You are not writing down what you are doing. You are already committing what you already committed for that entire.
Exactly.
So that rule is a management rule actually, not a 4-1-1 rule, but it's very good for anywhere in this.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And now that we have an instruction to do that, then you should take it seriously and do that and make a report card, you know, that okay, I chanted so many rounds and I read Srila Prabhupada's books. So it's very, very important. So that way it'll be helpful for us also, you know.
Smart goal.
Smart goal. Oh.
Specific, measurable, accurate,
achievable, reasonable, and time bound.
Oh.
They say I should not say I'll read every day Bhagavad Gita. Okay, what is it? Be specific.
Be specific. Yes.
20 minutes.
Yes. 2 hours. That is what Guru Maharaj keeps saying. Read 2 hours. Why? Because that is how we will sharpen our intelligence, which will control the mind, which will control the senses. Simple. So reading is very, very important. It is tough. It is tough, but then if we make that our priority, then it's not difficult at all. And like Krishna Shanam Prabhu asked the question, if we can't read, Guru Maharaj said, then hear the audio lecture. Hear it for 2 hours. Right? Because hearing, reading is the same. So this is how we can help our own selves. And first important part is to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. So next week is Panihati festival. So there'll be no class because I'll be doing service in the temple. And of course, it's more opportunity for us to do seva, to associate with devotees. And please make sure you take part in the Rath Yatra, which is on Saturday, starts, I think, at 12 o'clock. Is it at Woodruff Park?
The
Same area. Okay. You can always go to the website and see.
Share the flyer also, right? I shared it.
But does it specify where is the?
Yes, it does.
It does. Okay. Okay. Yes. So please make an sincere effort to come for Rath Yatra and try and be there for the whole Rath Yatra. An opportunity we are getting after 3 years to pull Lord Jagannath, on the streets. And please do some seva, some service in the temple. They really need. I think Madhvi and I are going on Friday and Saturday, 2 days we are going for service. So please do some seva. They need a lot of seva. And we all know Janardhan Maharaj is coming on 16th. So next Saturday, there will be no class. Next Saturday, there will be no class. But then after that, there is one more Saturday. And then Janardhan Maharaj's class will be here. So, okay, so we will meet after 2 weeks here for our Saturday class. So,
Street, not the park.
No, it's in the water. Each street